I'm from Japan and I'm going into my third year at University of Toronto. I'm studying Women and Gender Studies and Contemporary Asian Studies.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura, and I'm an international student from the United States, going into my fourth year studying ethics, society, and law, and peace, conflict, and justice with a minor in political science.
If you are planning to live in residence, you will have lots of chances to meet new people. Your dorms will host house meetings or some interesting events regularly, just to say hi to your neighbors and people beside you. And if you are living off campus, there will be plenty of online events this year. Check New College Instagram for any updates. By the way, orientation week is a great chance to meet new people. Don't miss it.
When it comes to making friends in Canada, one thing I'll say, and it may sound pretty cliche, is to just be yourself and celebrate what makes you different. I think a lot of the time we're told that making friends is easiest based on what you have in common with someone else. And while I think that's true to a certain extent, people are also very curious and want to make friends with people that aren't the same as them. And I think that that rule applies the same when trying to make friends with people in Canada. Luckily, because you're starting university, there's thousands of others in the same position as you, and they're all looking to make new friends. And reflecting on my time at U of T, I've made friends from people from Canada, from people from India, China, Turkey, Greece, and so many more, and it's been a really amazing and worthwhile experience.
For me, I met lots of my Canadian friends at New College. I made lots of Canadian friends in tutorials, in classes. So in tutorials, the class size is much smaller, from like 20 to 30 students, and it's easier to make friends. So like if you miss your class and you need a note, you can just go up and talk to them. Hey, like, how's it going? Sorry, I missed last week's lecture, and do you mind sharing a note with me or something like that? And yeah, they'll be happy to be friends with you. So for me, I mostly experienced two culture shocks. First one is tipping culture. Second one is winter in Toronto. So the first one, tipping culture. I'm from Japan, and in Japan, we don't tip. So when I first got here, I was so confused. Like, how much am I supposed to tip? Like, do I have to tip at Starbucks? Do I have to tip when I'm doing takeout? So I asked my Canadian friends, when am I supposed to tip? And then they told me, when you go to the restaurant, you have to tip at least 10% to up to 25%. So the second one was winter in Toronto. So in winter, it gets to minus 30 degrees when it's the coldest. When I first got here, I was so scared that I'm not gonna survive winter in Toronto. But I asked my orientation leader when I was in first year, what should I get? What should I buy to survive winter in Toronto? And then she told me, just get ready by buying nice winter jackets and winter boots, snow boots, and gloves. Just be prepared and you'll be good. That's what she told me.
When I first came to Canada, I was shocked by the diversity of the population and cultures. Canada, as a multicultural country, has people who come from all around the world. This country provides an inclusive environment for all ethnic groups. I felt overwhelmed at first because I'm not familiar with certain cultures and manners. But I found always be kind and respectful is helpful to overcome cultural barriers.
In terms of culture shock, because many norms and practices are very similar between that of the United States and Canada, I don't think I experienced it in the typical way that it's understood. But having grown up in a really small town that wasn't very diverse, when I moved to Toronto at first, it was really overwhelming because I was exposed to so much. However, I think if you're feeling the same way, I think the best thing to do is just look at it as a learning experience and approach it with curiosity. If you're not sure of something that you're seeing, look it up, do research, ask questions, and I think with time you'll become just as immersed in the Canadian and Toronto culture. Some strategies I have for online learning is, if you're able to, is to designate a separate space in your home that's for school. So whether that's a desk in your room, an office space, or even at the kitchen table, you know that when you're sitting there, it's time to work, and you can separate that from the rest of your social or just life at home in general. And also stay organized. It's really hard, even when we're not working from home, is to sort of keep track of all of our assignments and everything that's sort of coming up. Test out what works for you. So maybe that's keeping track of a Google Calendar or writing them down physically. And also take frequent breaks. I noticed that by the end of the day, some days my eyes hurt so badly, and I'm just really tired. And I've noticed that when I take frequent breaks away from my computer, I feel better and I'm able to be a bit more productive. If you're facing a really large time difference, I think that's also an added challenge with online learning. Something I would recommend doing is to talk to your professor. They're not as intimidating as you may think, and ask them, what accommodations are in place for students that are in a different time zone.
My personal advice is to switch one of your clocks to the Eastern Standard Time, or to set reminders for your lectures and tutorial in case that you miss it.
I always make a weekly calendar and monthly calendar, and then put them on my desk so that I can always see. What I always put on those calendars or schedules are deadlines for assignments, quizzes, or like what I should be doing, what I have to finish by the end of this week. Make a to-do list. Make sure to put all the deadlines, quiz or exam schedule on the weekly calendar and also monthly calendar, and then you're gonna be on track of, oh, I have a quiz next week, so I have to study this weekend, or something like that. So yeah, that's all the questions that I got, and yeah, I really wish you the best with your new journey at U of T, and I wish you the best.